Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so today I, a cigarette smoker, am going to be drinking Mexican market Coca-Cola for the first time. Now, one thing I need to clarify before I go any further in the video is that this is not the Mexican Coca-Cola that you might find in the United States. In the United States, there are two main varieties of the original Coca-Cola. There's the one in the glass bottle that is made with 100% cane sugar. That is a lot of times referred to as Mexican Coca-Cola. And then there's also the one that either comes in a can or in a plastic bottle that is known as just the Coca-Cola kind of thing. This is the Coca-Cola of the Mexican market. While yes, the ones in the glass bottles made with 100% pure cane sugar are also sold here, this is the lower end version of Coca-Cola here in Mexico. And I will admit, I'm not really a Coca-Cola fan, so I'm not thinking I'm gonna like this all that much, I will admit, especially since they recently switched up the ingredients to include some stuff that I'm really not a big fan of. But today I certainly am quite excited to go over the differences of the packaging between a Mexican Coca-Cola in a can and an American Coca-Cola in a can. And of course, I'm also quite excited to let you guys know what I think of, well, Mexican market Coca-Cola in a can as a cigarette smoker. But without further ado, first off, let's go ahead and cover the differences in the packaging. And of course, the background on this can is exactly the same as you would see in the United States. It's that very classic red ribbon sort of look that you would also see on cans of Coca-Cola in the United States. And we can see that the Coca-Cola logo itself is exactly the same as well. Of course, all of the text, except for the Coca-Cola brand name itself, is of course going to be in Spanish as well. This is a Mexican Coca-Cola after all, so it just says Sabor Original right there, which I do believe just means original variety or something along those lines. As we continue stretching the can around, we can just see it just says Coca-Cola once again, and then we can just see there's a barcode right here with the ingredients right here, all in Spanish of course, but I'll be getting to that in just a minute, because the main significant difference between Mexican market Coca-Cola and American market Coca-Cola, packaging wise at least, isn't even that the text on it is in a different language. It's that this can actually has a warning label on it. Now, warning labels are pretty common on pretty much any food product here in Mexico, except for like literally broccoli, pure chicken, or just like bags of sugar kind of thing. Pretty much every manufactured product it has some sort of like exceeded limit for like something kind of thing, whether it be unnecessary amounts of sugar, whether it be too much caffeine, whether it just be something kind of thing, too much sodium or something like that kind of thing. Pretty much everything exceeds their like warning label limits in some regard, and of course Coca-Cola does as well. And we can see it actually exceeds the warning label limits in two regards. There is there are too many calories. It says exceso calories right there, so too many calories, and then exceso azúcares right here, which just means excessive sugar. And those are the two categories that Coca-Cola was not able to keep themselves out of. It just says Secretary of Health right here in black, and then under that it just also says that this drink contains edulcorants, no recommended en niños, which I do believe just means that this contains like sugars and stuff like that kind of thing, I want to say, so it's not recommended for children. And then under that it has another qualification. It just says that this contains caffeine, which you should probably keep away from children, which I do find pretty funny. Coca-Cola is losing on a lot of regards, that is for sure. It's got too much sugar in it apparently, it's got too many calories, it's got too much sugar again, and it's got too much caffeine in it again, or it just has caffeine in general kind of thing, which I find to be pretty funny. Yeah, it is really amusing as an American to see warning labels on just food products and everything like that kind of thing. Like, I mean, our cigarettes in the United States don't even have like tons of warning labels on them and everything like that kind of thing. Like, the only warning label we really have on cigarettes is the Surgeon General warning on the side of the pack kind of thing. Whereas like this is on a food product. This isn't even on a pack of cigarettes kind of thing. I'm like, packs of cigarettes in Mexico also have warning labels on them that are a lot worse than this, but still, it's so funny to see a food product with a warning label on it. I don't think I've ever been to another country that has warning labels on their food products. It's so funny, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. We can just see down here, just says Coca-Cola, just has the Coca-Cola ribbon, just has a glass bottle of Coca-Cola. This is not a glass bottle, of course. And then it just says Refresco, Reducio, and Azucar contains 355 milliliters. Now Refresco, Reducio, and Azucar. Now Refresco basically just means, I want to say soda, I think. And then Reducio, of course, means reduced sugar. Now this is not like a Diet Coke or a Coke Zero or something like that kind of thing by any means, but apparently Coca-Cola Mexico has actually changed the recipe for Coke in a can quite recently, and we can see that on the ingredients right here. At the very top of the ingredients in silver, it just says Nueva Mezcla de edulcorants, and it just means new sugars used, or new sugars, something like that kind of thing. And then it just says ver ingredients, which just means C ingredients. So yeah, they changed the recipe just a little bit on this can of Coke right here. Now, I will admit, I don't know what the recipe was before this point for Coca-Cola in a can in Mexico. But if I had to guess, it was probably, I want to say, I think I heard that it was beet sugar and high fructose corn syrup combined, and I think that was it kind of thing. I think that was all of the sugar. Now it's got just sugar. It doesn't clarify what kind of sugar. It doesn't clarify if it's cane sugar. It just says sugar. It's got high fructose corn syrup, and it's got sucralose. I hate sucralose. I don't like the flavor of it kind of thing. In some drinks, it can be not so bad. I like my zero sugar monsters, that is for sure. But my brother's a really big fan of Coca-Cola, and they've had this stuff before, and they said it leaves the nastiest aftertaste in their mouth. And so I'm really not thinking that I'm really gonna like this. I might have liked it when it didn't have sucralose in it. I don't know if this has always had sucralose in it, but I'm guessing it probably hasn't. I'm guessing they probably introduced sucralose in this drink to make these warnings be not as relevant kind of thing. I really don't know, in all honesty. And for a can of Coca-Cola, I mean, like, this only has 15 grams of sugar as a whole, but apparently 4.4 milligrams of sucralose per 100 grams. So that's what? That's like 14 milligrams of sucralose overall, I want to say. I don't know, in all honesty. I really hope that it doesn't leave a terrible taste in my mouth. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, but kind of expecting it to. The ingredients in this, though, are pretty much the same as Coca-Cola in the United States, just slight different sugar differences kind of thing. This has sucralose in it, of course, which I don't believe United States Coca-Cola does have. This uses sugar and high fructose corn syrup, whereas Coca-Cola in the United States, I want to say, only uses high fructose corn syrup. So yeah, those are some major differences sugar-wise. Other than that, though, still uses caramel, color and stuff like that kind of thing, still uses phosphoric acid and stuff like that kind of thing. So, you know, pretty much the exact same as we might see in the United States ingredients wise, except for the sugars, I will admit. I do believe, yep, it says Hecho en Mexico here, so yes, this is indeed made in Mexico, and copyright the Coca-Cola Company 2023, all that sort of fun stuff. Apparently this is 10 milligrams of sodium and whatnot kind of thing. And overall it has 106 kcals. I don't know what the kcal is versus what an actual calorie is kind of thing. I don't know what the difference is, but apparently 106 kcals. I don't know really what that means, I will admit, though. Yeah, those are the main differences there are to the Mexican Coke in a can than there is to Coca-Cola in the United States. We can see some more Spanish up here. It just says reclama nos vemos pronto, which I believe just means like recycle and everything like that kind of thing. And then it just says Coca-Cola Mexico, Coke right there. And then it just says some other stuff as well, like, hey, recycle right here and everything like that kind of thing. And then we could just see the barcode down here, and that's pretty much all there is to the packaging. And those are pretty much the main differences between Coke in a can in the United States and Coke in a can in Mexico. Of course, Coke in a can in the United States, it's pretty much the exact same look, except it's all in English and without a warning label. Those are pretty much the main differences, though, I will admit. I think that's everything I wanted to say, though. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this is. I'm not really expecting to enjoy it, I will admit. I don't like, most of the time, sucralose in my drinks kind of thing. I'm not really a big fan of high fructose corn syrup drinks either. I prefer my pure cane sugar, that is for sure. I've tried the Coke in a glass bottle, the 100% pure cane sugar Coke before, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm not really a Coke person, but I really do like that Coke. I ain't gonna lie, it is some good stuff, that is for sure. This, I'm not expecting to be nearly as good, I will admit. But I do suppose I should probably give it a shot. So let's go and get this can. So let's go ahead and get this can all opened up. I'm gonna put it down on the ground so it doesn't splurt all over my stuff and everything like that kind of thing. And I'm gonna spoil the taste for myself a little bit by trying to get all the Coke that spilled on me all off. I always do that. I always shake it up just a little bit by accident in advance. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a sip of Mexican market Coca-Cola for the first time and actually see what my opinion is on it as a cigarette smoker. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Interesting. As I kind of thought, I'm not really the biggest fan of it, I will admit. But it is definitely different than American Coca-Cola, I definitely have to say. It definitely tastes slightly different. The mouthfeel is more so the same than not, but a little bit different as well. I'd have to say the mouthfeel for this beverage right here is very much a very soft, frothy mouthfeel. That is for sure. It's definitely a very like soft, frothy mouthfeel. But I mean, like, I will admit, it does seem to be a little bit different than the mouthfeel I get from Coke in the United States. I'd have to say it's a little bit more rough kind of thing. It's a very soft mouthfeel, don't get me wrong, almost like a pillow kind of thing. But there's a little bit of roughness in there as well. There's a little bit of tanginess in there as well from the carbonation. Very interesting. I don't feel like you get that much tanginess from carbonation in the States. Interesting. I do feel like there's a little bit of a difference in the mouthfeel of Coca-Cola in Mexico versus in the States. Let's go ahead and actually talk about what the taste is, though. So the taste to me is a little bit different than in the United States as well. It's not quite as sweet. It has, I would have to say, a little bit more. I mean, like, you get a very nice sort of molasses-like taste from it. I definitely have to say, a very nice molasses sort of taste. It's kind of how Coca-Cola tastes. It's very much like molasses, I'd have to say. Do get a very nice molasses taste from it, a very nice sweet molasses taste from it, but I'd have to say it's actually not as overwhelmingly sweet as Coca-Cola from the United States. I don't know if it's because of the sucralose. I don't know if it's because it's got less sugar in it. I do think that this can actually has less sugar in it than Coca-Cola from the United States. If I remember, a can of Coca-Cola in the United States, I think has like 30 grams of sugar, whereas this has 15. Excuse me. So it definitely does make sense why it would be a little bit less sweet. And I definitely have to say that, yeah, this is a little bit less sweet than Coca-Cola in the United States, which is actually more to my preference. I actually think I like this more than Coca-Cola in the United States. Well, normal gas station Coca-Cola in the United States, not the glass stuff. The stuff in the glass bottle is definitely still my favorite. That stuff is some gas. And of course, it's still a little bit syrupy as well. Some of the sugar is high fructose corn syrup after all, so that is no surprise. But I don't feel like it's as sugary as not sugary, sorry, syrupy. I don't feel like it's as syrupy as Coca-Cola from the United States as well. Now don't I'm getting more words all jumbled up. Now, do take what I say with a light grain of salt. I haven't had American Coca-Cola in over a year kind of thing. I'm not really a Coca-Cola person kind of thing. I just like trying the different varieties of Coca-Cola from different countries, I will admit. It's a fun thing to do. But I'm not really a Coca-Cola person. I don't drink Coca-Cola on a routine basis by any means. It's not really something I enjoy all that much. But I do feel like this tastes slightly different than Coca-Cola in the United States, and I do feel like it is a little bit less syrupy, a little bit, not significantly so, but a little bit less syrupy, and I do feel like the mouthfeel is different as well. Yeah. And there's a little bit more I'd have to say there's a little bit more of a tangy taste in there as well kind of thing. This is still overwhelmingly sweet for me though, I will admit. I do not typically drink sweet drinks that have nearly as much sugar as this drink does. It's usually not something I do. It is still a little bit too sugary, a little bit too sweet for my personal preference, but I like it more than Coca-Cola in the United States, even with the sucralose in it. I think I do. It's less syrupy. The taste is still like a really nice sort of molasses taste, but you also get a little bit of like tanginess in there as well kind of thing, which is kind of overwhelmed by just the sweetness in the United States kind of thing. I'd actually say this has a little bit more flavor profile. The mouthfeel is still very fluffy, but is a little bit rough as well due to that tanginess. I'd have to say overall, this is actually a more dynamically flavored drink than Coca-Cola in the United States, which is quite surprising if I do say so myself. Now, of course, take everything I've said right now up until this point in this video with a very light grain of salt, just simply because I haven't had Coca-Cola in the United States for a year, and my taste buds have definitely changed in that year, a little bit at least. So do take what I say with a grain of salt, but I do feel like, this is a little bit more different than not from Coca-Cola in the United States. It just tastes a little bit different kind of thing. Just tastes a little bit different, drinks a little bit different kind of thing. The aftertaste in it, I was expecting to not be very good. One of my family members said they didn't like the aftertaste. The aftertaste, I will admit, man, it's not so bad kind of thing. I will admit you do get a little bit of a sort of sucralose-y, like aftertaste kind of thing. Hey, don't get me wrong, you certainly do. But it's not like overwhelming by any means kind of thing. It's not like overwhelming. I am honestly quite surprised right now. I actually enjoy this a lot more than not. I really don't mind this at all. I actually don't mind this at all. This isn't so bad, and it's not like overwhelmingly syrupy like Coca-Cola in the United States is. It's not like overwhelmingly sweet like Coca-Cola in the United States is and other Coca-Colas that I've tried before. This is actually a lot more mild than not, and actually I like it more. Too much sugar, I can't do too much sugar these days kind of thing. I might drink a Monster every day with 150 milligrams of caffeine kind of thing, but I can't drink 150 milligrams of sugar every day. I would be dead, I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't be dead, I would be asleep all day. Let me put it that way. I can't do that. But this ain't so bad. Would I buy this again? Yeah, I think I would. This was, I want to say like 17 pesos. So it was like $1.10 USD or something like that kind of thing, like $1.05 USD. Not too bad. I actually do think I would buy it if I wanted something to really switch it up kind of thing, besides a Monster, besides like a different drink or something like that kind of thing, besides like a Monster tea or just water kind of thing, because usually I just stick with water, but if I want to switch it up, I have a Monster or some tea. If I really wanted to switch it up and go to a soda, honestly, I wouldn't mind having one of these. United States Coca-Cola is just too sweet for me, and I've also tried Coca-Cola from Japan, and it was, I will admit, just too sweet for me kind of thing. It was just too much kind of thing. It was just too much. This, on the other hand, isn't. It isn't too much. It's still a little bit too sweet for my personal preference, but it's not overwhelming by any means. Can't complain. Yeah, I actually like the fact that this is not like overwhelmingly sweet like it is in the United States. Maybe it's just been so long since I've had Coca-Cola from the United States, I don't know. But this doesn't seem nearly as overwhelming as Coca-Cola from the United States does. So I really cannot complain, that is for sure. I think that's all I wanted to say though. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys think I'm right or wrong. Do you guys think I made a good point in this video? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, please make sure to let me know if you guys have tried Mexican market Coca-Cola for the first time, or Coca-Cola from other markets. Do you guys think that the description I gave of the taste is pretty accurate? Do you guys think the description I gave in general is pretty accurate kind of thing? Let me know in the comments down below. I do suppose, where would I place this on my list though of Coca-Cola kind of thing? Well, top tier of course is, this is the one thing I forgot to do, that I started doing the outro and now I forgot, now I got to do something I forgot to do. Of course, cane sugar, Coca-Cola in a glass bottle goes on top kind of thing. It's really good kind of thing. It actually tastes amazing. This, probably number 2. Then after that, I'd probably have to say Coca-Cola from Japan. Then after that, I'd probably have to say Coca-Cola in a can in the United States. And then probably Coca-Cola in a bottle, plastic bottle from the United States. Bottom tier kind of thing. this is number 2 for me. Really not too bad if I do say so myself. Not too bad. Well, I think that's all I wanted to say. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this video. Let me know y'all's thoughts on Mexican Coca-Cola, Mexican market Coca-Cola. If you guys have ever tried it before, in the comments down below. And of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, excuse me, my P.O. box, and my second channel, all in the description down below. Go check it all out. But thank you so much for watching, y'all. To the next one, stay safe and peace. Have a great one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying?